miaka um, kumi na tano.
Oh, alihamia South Carolina miaka 15 iliyopita.
Ndio. So kabla ya hivyo aliishi Florida.
Oh, kwa hivyo alihama kutoka New York akaenda Florida, kisha kutoka Florida akahamia South Carolina.
Sijui neno hama.
Kuhama ni moving.
Moving.
Aha.
Oh, unataka kujua kwa nini alihama?
Hapana, ulisema kwamba wewe ulikulia New York, ndio?
Ndio.
Na baba yako pia, si ndio?
So tafadhali usubiri nikijaribu kukumbuka neno. Baba yangu na mama yangu wametalaka.
Oh, walitalikiana.
Okay, so kwa hivyo walipotalikiana yeye alihama Florida.
Oh, kwa hivyo alihamia Florida walipotalikiana, kisha akahama kwenda South Carolina.
Okay. Kisha linamaanisha nini?
Then.
So okay. Alihama Florida mwaka 1986. No, 1936. Alikuwa akiishi pale kutoka wakati huo mpaka wakati 15 uliopita.
Hadi miaka 15 iliyopita. Oh, okay. Vizuri. Alafu sasa akasema, nimechoka na Florida. Wacha niende South Carolina. Ndio, okay. Je, baba yako ana familia nyingine?
Baba yangu ameoa tena. So ndio anaishi hapa na mke wake. Kwa kweli mama yangu alikufa mwaka uliopita.
Oh, pole sana. Nasikitika kusikia hivyo.
Asante.
Mary?
So I just text her the meeting ID and the passcode. So she's typing.
Okay. Vizuri, asante. Asante sana. Wacha basi tumsubiri. Tuone. Okay. Kwa sababu leo hii hatutakuwa wengi sana na inaelekea kwamba sisi ambao tunazungumza lugha vizuri kidogo. Kwa hivyo hatutapitia zile basics. Hata hivyo, what I would like to do is once she gets here, I want us to just talk about the general concepts, like the framework of learning Swahili or whatever language it is that you're learning. and maybe troubleshooting, because we each have different challenges that we're experiencing depending on what our goals are, and see if we can brainstorm and see how we can get over those little humps. And then after that, we can freestyle and have conversations. But I feel like part of me being your coach is to just help you walk through those, knots that are inevitable when you're learning a language as an adult, because saying you're told, yeah, learn a language. It's well and good when you're a kid in school, because you sit there and you have no choice. But when you're an adult, you have to think about things a little differently. And how does that look for us? And where are we getting stuck, or where are we thriving, and what can we share with each other so that we see that success? Yeah.
Well, I have to say, some of the habits I developed while doing your 30-day challenge, which I did twice, were very useful in my goals for learning Khmer. In fact, I'm going to Cambodia in October, so when you brought up this subject in those little videos we would watch every morning, just 1 or 2 minute long video, in the first week, there were videos pertaining to the subject of what is your motivation? What is your why? And for me now, my motivation is extremely high because I feel like I have a race against time. I need to learn as much Khmer as I possibly can in a very limited period of time. And it's, it looks like Maria.
Thank you. Karibu sana Mama Maria.
Come on, Mama Maria.
Washa unmute. Wacha ni unmute.
Pole.
Okay, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Tunafurahi kukuona.
Na mimi pia.
Yeah, we're just sharing about our experiences as we're learning a language, and Daniel here anazungumza.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Maria. Nice to see you. Your face now for the first time.
Nice to see you too.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
You are Mary.
And Mary too.
I didn't realize I had my camera off.
Okay, where is Christine? She was very excited to be here today. Let me see if I can. Okay, continue.
Wonderful.
Continue.
Okay. Sure. So as for challenges that I'm facing, I will admit that one of the challenges is I put an enormous amount of pressure on myself, almost to try to be superhuman in my capabilities. And this problem is, it's probably counterproductive because it's creating stress. And then there are times where I say to myself, I need to be doing some listening exercises, and I need to find people that speak the target language I'm learning and try to practice with them. And I need to review the notes that I've taken, and I need to practice sentences, and I don't have time to do all of it. So, as you've mentioned many times before, we're not striving for perfection, but just improvement. And, I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm not going to reach the level of fluency in Khmer that I have in Swahili, which even so is not perfectly fluent. I consider myself an advanced student and nothing more. But in Khmer, I'll be happy if I reach a level of intermediate. I just don't have time to get beyond that. But whatever level I attain, I have to be content with it when I go there, because I'm not going to, trying to do more than I'm doing now is going to just lead to a burnout, which will be very unproductive.
That is true. And I think usually, and I know actually what these two students also struggle with that, because they're Maria and Maria, you guys are both so high achieving in terms of you expect so much of yourselves. And that's what I'm hearing with Daniel too. And
Yes.
Ironically, you all happen to be some of my best students. And yet, for some reason, you all are so hard on yourself because, oh my goodness, I have not gotten 100%. I should have done more. I should be where You know, they say to actually get fluent in the language where you actually must and doing all that. If you're in the must session, it could be around 2 to 3 years and you're constantly must, like you're constantly hearing it. But when you're in an immersive setting, it takes anywhere from 6 to 7 years of proper, deliberate application.
Mhm.
So thinking you're going to be there in 2 years and not acknowledging how far you've come from 0 to, it's actually funny, but I understand where that comes from, you know? So, and that's why I'm always emphasizing when you have those goals set, those reasonable goals set, then you actually have something to celebrate as you're hitting those milestones. Because otherwise you're going to be looking at yourself in terms of, hey, I am not fluent yet. And we know that's gonna take a long time. So if we don't have those little things that we're constantly measuring ourselves against, then we're likely to get frustrated and thinking that we're not making that progress. And for you, Daniel, like right now, I'm pretty sure you already, from the last few months that you've been working, I'm pretty sure you had whatever goals you had set for yourself. I hope it wasn't fluency, because we all know that's not going to happen right now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've hit some of those goals for yourself. But I'm also hoping that you took the moment to say, hey, I am doing this. And I'm really proud of myself for doing that.
You know, it's funny because sometimes meeting the goals is something that happens behind your back. And all of a sudden you open your eyes and you're like, wait a second, that was a goal I had a month ago and I've met it, but I didn't realize I had met it until now. You know, an example is that in Khmer, the language I'm trying to learn now, there's actually a different written script. So it doesn't use the same A, B, C, D alphabet. And it's not necessary to learn the written script in order to learn the spoken language. However, I wanted to also learn the written script. And strangely enough, without so much trying to focus on that, I'm discovering that I'm recognizing the letters and I can even read some of the words now in the Khmer native written script. And that was a goal, but I had forgotten it was a goal until I started being able to do it. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I'm achieving this.
I hope you took the moment to go like, yeah, I did that.
I forgot to celebrate my wins.
Your win.
Yeah, that was one of the things that that the app you have created was helpful for, because when we were doing our 30-day challenge, we will always be checking in, and we would never forget to celebrate our wins, because there's even a whole channel called Celebrate, you know, Celebrate Wins.
Yeah, I think it's very important. And if you're a high achiever, if you're somebody who's works really hard, the tendency is not to see what you've already achieved. Now, for the next few sessions, I would like for us to take a moment and look at things that I want you to just take time and think about what you have achieved so far. Like some of the things that you had told yourself you wanted to do regarding learning a language, and what you have achieved so far, and what you feel like you could do a little better in. And then let's talk about it, you know, take a few minutes and think about it if you do need to think about it, but if you're ready, let's hear it.
So you want to know what what I feel like I've accomplished, and then what I still need to work on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, you know, I accomplished being able to, I always said I wanted to be able to like comment in my own words without reading. So I can put things in my own words. Sometimes I still write it down though, because I guess I'm not confident that I know what I'm saying. So I'll still write it, but I do put it in my own words. I try to think how to put it in my own words. So I feel like, and I'm understanding better, but I don't know, my problem is hearing, you know, and somebody, like I can ask a person a question, and when they give me the answer back, I might hear part of what they say. I don't get it all. So I'll end up saying, can you say it again or something?
So let me help you a little bit with just that. Here's the trick. You don't need to understand every word for you to have comprehension, accurate comprehension. It's about training your brain to hear in phrases and not to hear words. Because if you train your brain to hear words only, by the time you're hearing all the words, they're gone.
Exactly.
You know, but if you learn to hear phrases, even if you don't understand every single component of that phrase, you're still able to have that comprehension, and you're still giving yourself some room to catch up with whatever else they're saying. So you're probably getting it, but because your brain is looking for every single word, it's thinking that you missed out some important information, which you probably didn't. Okay, so just relax, and whatever your brain picked up on, that's what I'm gonna ask you to focus on and respond to that. Whatever you didn't catch, don't worry about that. It was probably not that important. But you know, like when I was talking to Daniel, actually absolutely loved that, because what told me about Daniel's comprehension is that you have the fundamentals. You knew when the verb was what you didn't get. You trusted your ability to understand such that even if there was just that one word you didn't get, you recognize it was the crucial word that you didn't have. You know? So, and you were not lost in all the little ones that you might not really know what they meant, but you were confident that that's probably irrelevant at this point. I just need to be able to understand that one key verb so that I'm able to respond. So Mary, I'm pretty sure you know what is happening. It's just that your brain is not comfortable in not having 100%. So I'm telling you, the 100% is not relevant. Listen for phrases and then just focus on the key aspects of it. The rest of it comes with time, you know, because trust me, sometimes I don't even understand all the things that my Congolese friends are talking about. And then I will come out of context, I'll figure out what they're asking me. Okay, so that would be my suggestion for that. But yay, congratulations on being able to make your own comments. What else can you celebrate? What else do you feel like you've come a long way since we started this journey?
Well, I'm trying to do something in Swahili every day. So I'm still going through those lessons that you have out there.
Yeah.
So one day, I hope to start over in that advance, because I'm almost at the end of the
level 2. Yeah, Henrietta has been doing level 3, and I think there's something that happens once you move over to that level. It's just been remarkable seeing what she was when she was going through level 2, and all of a sudden once she started level 3, it's like the compound effect is finally happening, and she's making these sentences that it's like her brain is like, oh, now what I was learning in level 1 makes sense now very well.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't want you to feel too intimidated to move to level 3, because I feel like you're ready. Once you finish this, just move on to level 3. You can always start over if you want to. Yeah. So? Okay. And yay for your consistency. It's amazing. Like, you're one of the most consistent, most disciplined people I know. You might not feel like it because you're always hard on yourself, but like Daniel was saying, like, oh my goodness, I haven't done all of those things. But that consistency, fish, that's amazing. Even when you fall off the wagon, you usually come back, and you don't fall off for too long. And you're like, oh, well, I need to get back to it. So I highly commend you for that, you know. Maria, same question for you.
I don't know what to say. I don't know how to start. Well, can you ask the question?
The question is?
Yes, please.
Because you, as my hardworking student, sometimes have difficulty seeing how far you've come. I want you to think about where you are and where you are now and what you have accomplished. And I want us to celebrate that.
Yes. Okay. I remember before I came to Swahili, I didn't know Swahili exists. So I just came. Even the first time I don't understand, but I realized this is good for me to come, because I want to change. I want to move on and move on to my comfort zone. Even I'm still struggle to my comfort zone, but people who knows me, they say it's not true. You going to learn another language, because I'm the quiet people, quiet ladies.
Yeah.
And I want to stay on my corner, don't talk to people, even I do a lot of things, but quietly. Sometimes I didn't realize I do such the thing, because where I am now, we are in small congregation in Swahili, and I have a part almost, not almost, but every month. Like this month, I have two. Like next month, I have two. Make me working hard to do my best to not ask people to translate for me. I do it by myself, and people, the brothers and sisters always tell me, you have to believe yourself, because you're doing good. You don't have no accent. You're doing good, but I still feel that I'm not doing. I want to do more. Yeah, I blame myself every time. That's why it's blocked me, because I didn't realize I do good, and because of that, I always think didn't.
You don't feel like you've done your best.
Exactly. And
see, all of you have the same problem. That's what I was telling you. You know, and just for Daniel's sake, so in the congregation where they go, you have meeting parts, and you're required to prepare a talk in Swahili so that you present it in front of people.
Yeah.
So she is able to do that on her own and present it in front of others, and everybody understands it and thinks they don't have an accent. She doesn't even have an accent. And she still doesn't think she's doing anything.
Way to go, Maria.
I know.
What did you say?
Way to go, Maria. Congratulations.
I didn't understand what you said.
Oh, congratulations. Hongera.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
See, unless you actually take the time to feel good about what you've done so far, you will not have the motivation to keep going. Because like we were saying, and Maria, the other day I was talking to you and you were like, oh, I don't talk a lot to people to people in Swahili. And then I said, you're already quiet. Even in English or French, you don't even talk to people. You know? So how do you expect to be a chatterbox in Swahili? That just doesn't work like that. You know, but if you are one-on-one with somebody, are you not able to have conversations?
Well, since last week, 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
every time I go to my meeting, I go early and I talk to people in Swahili, and after I talk in Swahili, and I ask them, I want to talk Swahili now. I want to what is it called?
Practice.
Yeah, I want to practice. I want to live in my comfort zone. And now I've been yesterday I went to my meeting and I speak Swahili with the brothers and sisters, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you, Maria. I just want, the reason I'm doing this is because I know your issues is not studying. I know your issues is not putting in effort. You all are doing that already. The fact that you're here, that tells me that's not your issue. Your issue is just taking the time to recognize, first of all, celebrate all the hard work you're putting in. And then the next thing is recognizing that the brain will do what it wants to do. You cannot hurry this process. You can jump up and down, but it will do what it wants to do when it wants to do.
Yeah.
So once you remove that pressure from yourself and say, hey, I have no control over this. I just need to do my part and the rest will happen. I think it takes so much more pressure from you. Like I was sharing about my adventures in Spanish. When I came back from Kenya, clearly I hadn't been around any Spanish speakers. And the first opportunity I got, I was like a deer in the headlight, but again, as I coach, you also coach myself. I remind myself these things because I'm human and that's the first instinct, pressure. Oh my gosh, I forgot everything. I am horrible. How can I be teaching people and I don't even know Spanish? Like all of the pressure. But the more I did that, the more I realized I wasn't doing it. And then I told myself, okay, just chill out. Just relax. And wouldn't you know it, yesterday I had a whole phone conversation with my Honduras contractor in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
I know, because I didn't have any pressure. And I accepted the fact that I'm not going to be fluent right now, but I am making progress every day. And I'm celebrating the fact that I had that conversation, even though a few months ago I'd forgotten everything. Okay. So it's like this. Up and down. Some days you feel you got it. Some days you feel like you know nothing, absolutely nothing. And that is very humbling. But what is happening, it's the compounding effect that's about to happen. And this is when most people quit. Like when you've studied something for so long and you're feeling, I am not making any progress, even though you really are. But in your mind, you're like, you're not feeling any progress. Most people quit. But then the few who persevere, let me give you an example. I'm sure you've noticed this, and I'm sure you've seen this millions of times. Have you ever tried to melt ice? Sometimes, if you want to get ice, you put it in a chunk of ice in a sufuria. I've actually done this in a pot, and you just want to melt it. You will apply heat. For a while, it'll seem like nothing is happening. Like it will just sit there like a lump of nothing. And then you look away and you look down and it's turned into water. All that heat was going in there. It just wasn't giving us what you want, or even boiling it. Sometimes it just sits there and then the next minute it's boiling. That's the same thing with learning a language. You give it the input, and then when your brain is ready, it starts boiling. It has nothing to do with you. It's just how you're built. So as long as you're giving it the proper input, like you all are doing right now, doing the studying, doing the practice, relaxing, celebrating, all those principles that I keep teaching you, I promise you, you are going to see amazing things, even more than you're already doing. Because like Daniel, I just had a conversation with you about really random things and you were able to handle yourself, And even Mary, I was asking you a question. For you, it's just a lack of confidence because you're understanding me just fine, but you wanted to confirm. Because I have a feeling, like most of us, we don't want to make mistakes. So you want to make sure that you got it right before you answer, lest you answer the wrong thing. That's okay. But being okay with making mistakes is also.
Can I share a quick little story?
Yes, by all means.
There's a game they play in Asia, which is called Go. It's a game with a board and just black and white stones. And it takes many years of dedication to become good at this game. And I had heard a story about a student who approached a grandmaster of the game and said, "Can you teach me?" And the grandmaster said, "Yes, I'll teach you. But first, go out and lose 1,000 games. Then come back and I'll teach you." In other words, the point was just keep playing. You're not going to win. You're going to lose. And it doesn't matter that you're going to lose. But until you've had that much experience under your belt, there's no point in me teaching you. So the goal is to lose as many as you can as fast as you can. This advice is also sometimes given to people who are dating and who are shy. They will say, some like a psychologist will say, go out and talk to people and don't worry about getting rejected. If you get rejected, if you're a man like myself and you approach a woman and she's not interested in you, consider yourself as having succeeded because you had the courage to approach her, not that you failed because she rejected you. So go out, collect the rejections, or if it's a game, collect the losses. And same with learning a language, I think. Go out and make mistakes. Making mistakes, if you're not willing to make those mistakes, you cannot progress.
It's going beautiful. That's coincidental because my motto is, how am I going to fail today? Like when I'm functioning on my best, I literally wake up and say, how are we failing today? Because I'm like, if I'm failing, that means I'm trying something new. That means I'm getting out of my comfort zone. And I think sometimes when we're learning a language, and for all of you, I know for you, you're not casual language learners, and that's why you're here. We are here because we want to make sure that we attain our goals, So we're also talking about the types of people that we are becoming. It's a big project. It's something hard. It's forcing you to attain disciplines that you otherwise wouldn't have. That is what learning a language does. So sometimes I feel pity for people who don't give it their best, because guess what? They're missing out on the extra benefits of the process. You have to be a disciplined person. You have to be somebody who is humble. You have, like, all of these qualities come because we're learning a language. So in other words, we already become winning at life just because we are here and doing this. And for the majority of you, you're learning it because so that you can help others too, in your volunteer work. And for Daniel, connection and humanity, so those are all beautiful, noble goals that should definitely help us to get over those slumps. And Ellie came in at the perfect time because we were asking people, because we have noticed that we have a problem actually acknowledging how far we've come. So I wanted people to think about where they were at some point and where they are today, and what are some of those things are that we can celebrate.
Oh, so you want me to say that?
Yes, tell us what you want to celebrate out of your journey. What improvements have you seen?
Okay, yeah, I have. Well, started out knowing zero, and just being consistent, like you were saying, every day I would read a passage and I was able to have it both in English and Swahili. So I would read and just try to find one word I knew. And then each time, after time, I would say, oh, I know these words, I know these words. Now I'm able to read that passage and maybe I only have to look up 2 words and I can, sorry, just a minute. Sorry, I'm in the parking lot. My husband's at a medical appointment, but anyway, so I've been really excited that comprehension has come so far. And so now I am working on more confidence in speaking. And sometimes a sentence will just pop into my head, but I'm kind of like you were saying, I'm like, oh, I don't know if every word is right. You just have to throw it out there and people will tell you, oh no, say it this way. So that's where I'm at right now, is to use my language more verbally, because I am a perfectionist, sadly.
Usually my high achieving students are also perfectionists, which is, it's ironic really when you think about it, because they're the ones that work the hardest, but they're the ones that are the hardest on themselves, and they're the ones who are willing to make mistakes or would rather not make mistakes. But I like that.
Exactly.
Go fail every day, go lose a game every day, because that's the only way you're going to know what you don't know. You know, I usually find it funny when people ask me what I learn. I find that very funny to me, because here's the thing. I don't know where you're going to find yourself. You know, you don't want to sound like Duolingo, where it's teaching you blue and orange and your grandmother is a good person. You know, that's the problem with learning. That's the problem with learning random vocabulary. I want you to have those tools and then figure out, how am I going to use these words? How am I using my language? Because trust me, if you find yourself in certain situations over and over again, you're gonna need to go figure out, like I highly doubt Daniel is gonna forget hammer, you know, because it came up in conversation and he's like, CLA with that word hammer. I'm like, oh no, that means move, or, you know, or ishi, or, because it happened in context. Context is everything when you're learning your vocabulary, when you're learning your language, and that will only happen when you're out in the field. That's when you will need to know, you will learn what you don't know and what you need to feel. So LSN is not going to give you everything you need in terms of the words, but it's going to give you the framework. It's going to teach you how to fish, such that when you're reading a book, you'll be like, oh, that's a new word I've learned, and I know the context because I was reading the story, and I'm going to be able to use it. You'll be listening to a music, or you'll be listening to a movie and going like, oh, I think I can use this word this way, because you're not memorizing, you know what to do. Okay, so go out there and lose as many games as possible, have as many blank looks, because the more you have them, the less they will become. And one day you'll go a whole week and you're like, oh my goodness, I did not freeze this week. You know, but if you're afraid to freeze once, I promise you, you are going to have to pay your dues. Nobody escapes that. You know, so you might as well just get it out of the way and be like, okay, I've done my part. Now let's shine. Okay. So anything else, anybody with a specific issue that we can troubleshoot and that they can, so that going forward, they know what to do and make it their life a little easier. Maria, I can't hear you.
I have a question.
Yes.
I finished my level 2.
Yay.
But I don't want to celebrate.
I want to celebrate that.
But I'm not so, what can I say? I didn't expect more. Before I tell, what you expect when we do the final exam?
The final exam, did he tell you you have passed?
No, I didn't. I just say 56%, that's it.
Okay, so what I don't want, especially for you, I need you to go to level 3. Just go to level 3. Yes. Okay. That's it. People are stuck in level 2 because they don't want to go to level 3. Mary, you too, go to level 3. We're not doing level 2 anymore after we finish. Because I want you to go through the whole process, and then you can come back to specific lessons that you found that you didn't get, you were not very comfortable with. Okay, finish the whole program first, and then come to, if you noticed you struggle with, say, extensions, come back to those. If you notice maybe you struggled with something, come back to that, but after you have finished everything. Okay. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. Well, so today we're supposed to speak about the first 2 principles, and that was your why, and the second one is setting SMART goals. But you already know how to do that. But just in case somebody's going to be watching this later, having the overall goal, breaking that goal into small actions, And then those small actions into daily activity, or, I mean, don't go for perfection. By daily, like you see, the challenge, I usually say it's 30 days, but it's only 5 days. I give you 2 days off because I know life happens. I try to replicate reality as much as possible. So even if you're not able to do every single day, but that's your goal, that's okay. You know, if you do 80% of the 100% that you are going for, promise you, lots of people didn't even do 0%. So you're already winning. Okay. So for you, if you're trying to finish the program, I just suggest follow it the way it is set out, because I've thought about these things, these conversation aspects. You know, there is your vocabulary stuff. Like I've tried to take out as much of the guesswork out as possible. And then once you finish all that and you're trying to find extra ways to do everything, fantastic. But right now, just make it easy for yourself. For you guys, you go out in the ministry, do the ministry part. But other than that, just follow the program, do the homework. And before you know it, you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I think problems come in when you try to do too much and you don't even have the time to do too much, you know, and then you give up. And then you're like, oh, I tried, but you really killed yourself. And that's not what we were going for. Daniel, yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's pretty much what I would say for now. So if we don't have any questions, I mean, we can just have a little Swahili session. What should we talk to now? What should we talk about today? Or maybe, would you prefer we do the group session, or should we do Zoom and just talk? What's your opinion? What would you like to do?
You say the group session or what?
Can we do common, or would you rather Zoom break with the break rooms with different partners? I think I'm gonna do Zoom, since no, not Zoom. I'm gonna do groups. I'm gonna put Maria and Ellie together, and then I'm gonna put Daniel and Maria together. Is that okay? And then I'll come hang out with you briefly, and then we'll see. Let me develop.
Are you giving us a subject to talk about?
No, this is just free.
Talk.
Just talk. Just talk. I know it's hard, but this is what we struggle with, you know. But that's what, like, it requires a little bit of thinking. If I was just talking normally, what would I be talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we never have any problems talking when we're talking normally to other people. But for some reason, when we start talking in a foreign language, we revert to, it is raining. Yes, it is not raining. So, yeah, so let's try not to be robotic. I'll come and give and listen a little bit and see how this works. And then Daniel and Maria. And then okay, open rooms.
Kujifunza Kifaransa.
Hapana.
Okay.
Kwa sababu lugha yangu ni Creole. Ninajifunza Creole moja kwanza na pia Kiswahili. No, pole, na pia Kifaransa. Lakini wakati nilienda shule, shule ninajifunza Kifaransa.
Okay.
Shule, kwa sababu
shuleni walifundisha kwa Kifaransa?
No, shule ya ndio
Ndio.
ya Kifaransa kwa
Okay. So, ulijifunza Kifaransa katika shule.
yeah, ndio katika shule.
Na vipi Kiingereza? Ulijifunza Kiingereza wapi?
Nakumbuka niliishi katika Marekani kwa miaka 7, so kwa sababu ninajifunza
Kiingereza.
Kiingereza.
Oh, so ulianza kujifunza Kiingereza ulipofika hapa Marekani.
Nilipofika New Jersey.
Okay. So niliuliza, I asked, niliuliza, ulianza, did you begin? Ulianza kujifunza, to learn, Kiingereza, when you came here, ulipofika hapa.
When I came here, to Montreal?
Oh no, unaishi Montreal sasa?
Yes.
Oh.
Naishi Montreal. Yeah.
Sikujua.
Kabla ya kwa miaka 19 no. Miaka
Even hata kwa Kifaransa ni sawa. 1900.
Yeah, 1970 no. Yes, 78. Ilikuwa kujifunza Kiingereza.
Sawa.
Alafu baadaye ukahamia Canada?
Ndio.
Wow. Umekuwa Canada kwa miaka mingapi?
Kwa miaka 1971.
Wow, wewe ni mzee sana. No, samahani, you said you have been in Canada for 1970 years.
Oh, no. I'm so confused. Let me say it in English and I try to say it in Swahili.
Hapana, hatutasema hivyo. So, nimeuliza umekuwa Canada kwa miaka mingapi? How many years? Kwa hivyo nipe tu miaka.
Kwa miaka
40, 50.
Oh. More than 40 na 8.
Oh, see? Unajua. Na wewe Daniel, umekuwa New Jersey kwa miaka mingapi? Umekuwa New York kwa miaka mingapi?
Nimekuwa nikiishi hapa New York kwa maisha yangu yote. So lakini niliisha jimbo la Florida kwa miaka miwili. Nilipokuwa mwanafunzi katika high school.
Umezaliwa
So kidogo Kiingereza, kidogo Kiswahili, kind of both. Yeah.
Naelewa.
Na wewe?
Ndio, kwa sababu tulienda kuhubiri
Oh, it's
kila
excellent.
siku.
Oh, vizuri sana. Na unatembea Mashahidi wa Yehova?
Ndio.
Okay.
Tulienda kama ni greater.
Oh, yeah. Ninataka kurudi na mhubiri na Kingori. Mume wangu ni kutoka Kingori. Anatoka Kingori. Na yeah. Anna, I know he's talking in my ear, telling me what to say. She caught me.
Mwalimu anakusikia.
Okay.
Eli, ninapenda sana herini zako.
Oh, this one?
Ndio,
oh,
sana.
Asante. Na nilinunua na Forever 21 na katika Seattle or Tacoma. Yeah. But, yeah.
Okay. Duka hilo ni duka zuri, lakini mimi sina miaka 21. Kwa hivyo sinunui huko vitu tena.
Yeah.
So what are y'all mnazungumza?
So
what are y'all talking about? Mnasema ni kuhusu nini?
A little everything.
Mimi na yeah. Na safiri kwa Tanzania.
Mlienda Tanzania.
Ndio.
Na afya.
Afya. Okay. Hebu niulize, Eli, unasema lugha nyingine yoyote? Ama unasema lugha ngapi?
Nyumbani?
Ndio.
Nyumbani Kiingereza.
Na unajua lugha ingine?
Mume wangu anasema sina jua Kiswahili na kujifunza zaidi. How do I say before? Mpaka kuongea. Before. Kabla, thank you. Kabla kuongea.
Hapana, mwambie unahitaji kufanya mazoezi, kwa hivyo ni sawa ukifanya makosa. Akusaidie mazoezi.
Mwambie kila siku. Kujifunza lugha ni kama kujifunza kupanda baisikeli.
Kabisa.
Unasema, ukikosea, wakicheka watu, na wewe cheka.
Ndio, hivyo tu ndio utajifunza. Kuwa tayari kufanya makosa.
Ndio.
Mary, unasema lugha ingine tofauti? Unasema Kihispania? Unaongea Kihispania?
Hapana.
Hapana. Unaongea Kifaransa?
Hapana, ninaongea Kiingereza na ninajifunza Kiswahili.
Hapana, kuanzia leo nataka mseme ninasema Kiingereza na ninasema Kiswahili. Hata kama hamjakuwa wenyewe, ni vizuri ukiambia ubongo wako, I speak Kiswahili. So let's remove ninajifunza. That's a cop out. That's because you don't want people. You say I'm learning so that people are not hard on you. But if you say no, ninajifunza, ninasema Kiswahili. Now, you didn't tell them you're fluent. You just said you spoke Swahili. So that's your new assignment. Kila siku unasema ninasema Kiswahili.
Mimi nampenda huyu mwalimu.
Ndio, asante.
Huyu mwalimu mzuri huyu.
Samahani, nina mafuta sauti na vituko, lakini
So,
yeah.
Jay, ninaweza kusema
Unajua mbwembwe za
Hebu sema.
unafahamu mbwembwe nyingi za kujifunza.
Sorry.
Ndio, Mary. Unasema.
So, I'm saying this, okay. Jay. Ninaweza kusema ninaongea Kiswahili kidogo.
Sitaki useme hivyo. Ninasema Kiswahili. It's part of today I was learning something about discipline, and it said that discipline whenever you find yourself struggling with a certain discipline, it's because you're struggling with the identity. I want you guys to create that identity of being a Swahili speaker. Once you tell yourself, this is who I am, you will automatically start acting as such and practicing and talking more. Every time you tell yourself, I speak a little, or I'm just learning, you're telling your brain, it's okay to take leave. It's okay to be but that's not who we are. We are Swahili speakers. Whether fluency will come in its own time. So that's what I want us to start telling ourselves. And it makes a big difference. Shift-wise. I started counting Spanish month 3. I started telling people I speak Spanish month 3. Did I speak Spanish? No, but I knew I was going to be, and it helped me a lot more. Now today, I like I was telling you, I had a whole phone conversation. Nilisema kwa simu na mtu anayesema Kihispania kwa dakika 15 na hata sikusikia chochote. Niliona kama ilikuwa kawaida. Kwa sababu that's the identity I've created for myself. So that's what we're working on. Oh wow, it's already 7:05. Let me close the breakout rooms. Alafu, we close it out. Sawa?
Sawa.
Okay. Inaonekana Daniel na Maria wana hadithi nyingi. Mary, where did your video go? And you're muted. I didn't mute you.
Okay.
Karibuni. Where did Daniel ameenda wapi? Okay. So it's 7:09. It's past our, I thought you were going to do it 1 hour. But this has been fun, you know. I hope it will be your time. And just to recap, today we talked about just celebrating wins, being aware of where you've been and where you are and where you're headed in terms of those little goals that help you measure the progress that you're making. Because I, as your teacher, I see remarkable differences from when we started out and where you are. I'm talking to pros now, you know, I just want you to see that. And like I was telling Mary and Ellie in the breakout room, we need to embrace our
put in here.
as our Swahili speakers. I don't want you to say ninajifunza Kiswahili. I want you to add Swahili to your resume and say ndio ninasema Kiswahili. If somebody asks you how many languages you speak, be proud to put that in your resume. Say, yes, I'm a Swahili speaker. Because guess what? It's going to force you to act like a Swahili speaker. You will not miss out an opportunity to speak Swahili. You will always find, because that's who you are. You know, like today people ask me how many languages you speak. I embrace all of them. I don't speak all of them perfectly, but guess what? They are going to be there. Because every time I find that opportunity to speak Arabic, I will speak Arabic. Or if I speak, whatever it is that I have crossed paths, because that's the identity I'm trying to create. You know, they say dress for the job you want. I'm saying in this case, claim the languages you want to speak and embody those identities. And then just put your head down, do the best you can, progress over perfection. And then find your tribe, because they say your vibe attracts your tribe. You know, you can't do this on, yes, you can, but it's easier when you have other people going along. So this call that made it here, help the community, because sometimes people get so lost in their own world. They forget to check in, they feel they are alone. And I'm like, no, let's leverage our community and make our lives a lot easier. So when you can, check in, and you guys do a good job of it. I have to thank you. So keep it up, you know. And then next month, we'll have another meetup with a different session. And, you know, at least today we showed people it can be done, you know, and a good use of our time. And I know the more we grow, I mean, the more we do it, the more people are going to be like, oh, I guess I better invest my time in this, because I think it's worth it, you know?
Okay.
How many of you thought it was worth it being here? I know I was.
Very good.
Yes, very good.
Oh my goodness, Asante.
I do have one question,
Yes.
Karen. I have one question. So is it going to be the 4th Friday or the last Friday? Because sometimes there's like 5 Fridays.
And
so is it?
That's brilliant.
yeah, that's a good question. And then also, the thing about it is I was trying to find a time that would work, because there are people who have their meetings on Friday night and they would really like to be here, you know, and I'm like, I'm trying to find something that would work for everybody, but I just didn't want us to miss. So I'm gonna send out a thingy for a few more times and then see the one that we have the most. And then once we find one that works for the majority of us, because there was a big group of people that couldn't make it today. And I felt bad about that, but I was like, we gotta have it, you know, because the month is almost over. So I'll send out the survey again before we settle on a comfortable time for all of us, you know.
Okay.
But today I was just happy, at least we got it done, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
That's right.
Asante.
Asante.
Sana. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I honor, and I feel honored that you chose to spend your Friday evening with me. I know there are other fun things you'd rather be doing, so asante.
No.
Asante sana.
All right.
You had said that LSN platform is not going to give us the vocabulary. It's going to give us more the tools to know how to develop your Swahili. But I would like to mention that the LSN program you've developed is generic enough that, as in my case, you can apply it to other languages too. I'm sure if you're learning Spanish, you're using the same techniques in your Spanish as in Swahili. So it's not specific to Swahili. And I'm grateful for the things you've taught me, which is why I'm coming back, even though I'm not focusing right now on Swahili. I feel confident that you can still teach me things that I can then apply to the Khmer.
And you know, the other day I was thinking, I'm like, okay, there's 3,020 people out there who teach Swahili, but what exactly does LSN do? Then I recognize, I'm like, the problem is, as adults, nobody tells us the principles of learning a language, the disciplines that go behind learning a language. LSN happens to give you those tools such that, like you're saying, if tomorrow you choose, you decide you want to learn French or anything, you have a flexibility that you can do that across board. You're equipped, because I don't want permanent learners. I want people who go out there and represent me and say, hey, if you want to flourish, great, this is where you need to be, because tomorrow you're gonna go somewhere in Tanzania. Like the way when our friend Henrietta was talking about, she went to Tanzania, she was able to have a half-an-hour conversation with the Daladala person, you know. And so those little, those things, those are what make us a powerful group, because you're out there crushing it. You're out there doing all of those things. And I'm confident that you can acquire that vocabulary way faster than anybody out there trying to memorize it out there, because they don't know what they're doing with it. You know, they can have 340 days of streak on Duolingo, but if you went and did the same thing, you would be blowing them out of the water, because you know what you're doing. To me, I'm extremely proud, extremely proud. So thank you. Thank you for, you know, bringing that out, because I was just trying to think about it. I'm like, what exactly do we do? Why, how different are we from Duolingo? And that's the difference, you know, so yeah, asante sana.
Okay.
Mweni na jioni njema.
Kwaheri.